Hey, my name is Aaron with Scalability, and this is Freedom Fridays, where every week for active Scalability subscribers, we actually go live with systems and strategy to help you win with the software. So with Scalability, we're leveraging technology to advance God's kingdom, and we didn't want to just sell subscriptions. We wanted to actually teach you how to use it. So as an active subscriber of Scalability, you have the software, you have live chat, you have over 150 training videos, but then there's always a breakdown of like, what do I do with this? How does it work for me in my business where I'm at with what God's called me to? And so we do systems and systems, automation, strategy, and everything every Friday. And you will get links in your email to join live. So we're going to be live here on YouTube every week. And as always, this is live Q&A. So it's not tailored and crafted to try and teach you something specific or sell you something. We're literally just letting you join, and I'm going to answer your questions and help streamline things for you so you can have a success as quick as possible. So I'm going to start letting some people in here, and then we will just jump right on into questions and straightening things out this week, making sure everybody's moving in the right direction. So we've got a little bit of we have a little bit of a new structure going on, because typically we jump in and we have Q&A beforehand and then we go live. But now we're just going live right off the bat and jumping straight into it. So, hey guys, I see Ralph, Jill, go ahead and unmute yourself. Say hi. You know how we do it.
Hey, I'm here in Florida.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Hey, good. Just struggling with certain things, but we're getting there slowly.
Like what? Let's talk about them. See if I can't help you get moving in the right direction quick.
Well, a lot of times, mainly it's time management. When I
Okay.
start working on pieces of scalability, then I got all these other projects. Then
Mhm.
when I come back, it's like, oh God, where did I leave off? And then one was when I set up the email thing. I moved it to my GoDaddy domain, but then it pulled up uh, a different address, whatever I copied to move to the DNS records. Trying
Gotcha.
to trying
All
to
right. So
think of
when you did the DNS records over to GoDaddy, basically you had a problem with the DNS records being moved over.
uh well, it moved and everything checked out, but I couldn't send an email. It's like, what happened? But
Gotcha.
it went to, like, I was using, I can't think of the name right now. I was looking at my notes.
No
Whatever
worries.
was in whatever link I copied to put in the domain site, it was a different mail service.
Lead
And I
connector?
was, no, it wasn't lead connector. It was, God.
Gotcha.
But
Okay, so it
anyway,
was one of the records that was copying over.
yeah. So I was wondering, do I have to have a professional email service?
Were you trying to use just like an @Gmail or a free account?
Uh, no, I was just trying to link the GoDaddy domain, and then
Okay, are we talking about your email and adding the DNS records for your email, or the domain to get the domain pointed to scalability?
sure.
Yes, both, right?
Yeah.
So with the domain, you have your domain in GoDaddy. You bought it from there, right? The URL, like www dot, you bought that from GoDaddy. When you go into scalability, you click on settings in the bottom left corner and then domains in the left side menu. It'll let you click a button to add a domain. And scalability should have you log in to GoDaddy automatically, and it should add the records for you. And then
Right.
and it was just a couple records, DNS records you'd have to add, or one, and that will point it over. Did you do that?
Yes. And then I
Okay.
tested it and everything checked out.
Okay. So then it was your email. So again, if you go into scalability, you click settings in the bottom left corner, and then in the left side menu, you click email services. it'll bring it up to where you can dedicate a domain. You create that subdomain and then you dedicate a domain and it creates those DNS records, like 5 or 6 DNS records there. And it should automatically add those to your GoDaddy as well. Did you do that?
Yeah, I have the lead connector email
Okay.
system,
Mm-hmm.
and it's linked to my proper domain. It
Okay.
wasn't showing that. It was showing uh I don't know. I have to keep looking at it.
No worries. What's the actually, have you talked to live chat with it?
No, that was one question. I'm was going to try and get somebody to help me walk through some of it.
Yeah. A lot of
And
people forget we even have it. So I'm going to pull up a demo account here real quick because we do this for live so that everybody can like learn it together. And so let me share my screen real quick and I'll just show you. Because this is actually a question a lot. A lot of people forget we even have live chat, but the people that are having a lot of success with Scalability Quick, they're like, oh, I'm on your live chat all the time. It's great. Like, okay, perfect. So when you log into your Scalability account, this is a demo account, but up here in the top right corner, there's this little blue circle with the white chat bubble. If you click on that, it'll open up this little pop-up here on the right. And then if you click messages down here at the bottom, this starts live chat with the team. So you can new message, you'll put in your name, email, and the question, and then start the chat.
okay.
And this is 24/7, 365. So we always have people there to make sure they can walk you through and they can get into your account and everything else. This is kind of a technical thing that naturally we'd have to look at your account. So fastest way to that is to grab the live chat and have them look inside your account with you.
Right. Yeah, that'd be really helpful. I
How are
forgot
you?
about.
Catch us up. Give us a idea again. What are you working on? And what's the process that you're wanting to use scalability for? Like your customer journey, kind of what do you do and how are you leveraging it?
Yeah, I have a it's kind of like a big group, and we want to send out mass emails, usually maybe 12,000 emails a month.
Mm-hmm.
And but I want to get scalability to where we can develop communities and collaborate with different teams and different projects in the communities,
Gotcha.
and also host the website
Mm-hmm.
and have it all linked, kind of like it's. I've always looked for just one platform
Yep.
that combines so many features and scalabilities. That's it's like, dang, that's it. And
That's it. We have it all in one place. Yep.
yeah, so it's going to serve the purpose of not having to jump through so many different
Yeah.
platforms and things like that. But
Yep.
yeah,
Cool.
the live chat, that's going to be a big game changer. And I'm building the website too. So,
Okay. Cool.
and I
So you'll
was,
have a website as kind of your sign up page.
yes,
Okay. I
that'd be the,
personally, when you click on sites, in that left side menu, at the top, you'll see funnels, websites, blogs, forums, surveys, all of that. I personally build everything in funnels. I just like the way it lays out the steps better. Whereas a website will put the pages next to each other as like separate blocks, and a funnel like stacks the stages. So personally, I build everything in funnels. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Either way is fine.
but
But
funnels is great. And I like, I need the form also to get,
okay.
collect the data
Yep.
of the
For the
members.
sign in.
Yeah.
Are
So
you
I could,
charging for your group or are you just having like a free sign up page?
it's free, and I'm still on the fence whether to charge or not, because
Okay.
it's more like it's a not for profit type thing.
Not
But
for
I do,
profits make a lot of money. It's okay.
yeah. So yeah, and
So when you do your sign up page, because this is a good kind of a process of putting things together, um, you have funnels, websites, blogs, forums, surveys across the top, right? You have to, no matter what you're selling, if you're selling it, you don't need to do this. But if you're just opting in for free, so if you're doing free communities, because I know somebody asked this the other day, they had a paid community, they wanted to change it to a free community. With a paid community, you've got your website, your funnel, your sales page, right? Where people come, they learn about your community, and there's a payment form you put on that page. They enter their name, phone number, email, their credit card. They say, yes, I want to buy it. And that starts charging their card either once or every month, whatever you set it up. If you want to make it free, you have to go to that web page and remove the payment form. And then you have to go out of the website or out of your funnel and into forms and create a form that is like name, phone number, email, or just name, email, whatever you want to collect. And you create that form. Then you go back into your website or your funnel page and you'll place an element of the form on the page. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, because that's I wanted to kind of break it to do that where there is you have your public facing info, and then once you get further into it, then there's the paywall,
Yep.
kind of, so to speak.
Yep, exactly. So you would let me see if I have this opened up in like, I think I do have a site built here. I do. So let's do this. This is a good topic real quick. Make it a little more practical for everybody. So this is a demo account in scalability, but you can see where we're at. We log into the dashboard here. What we're talking about is if we go to sites here in this left sidebar, up across the top, we see funnels, websites, blogs, forums, things like that. If you're going to have a free community, you need to go to forms first and build a form. And this can be just a simple, like we have templates. You can start from template or you can start from scratch. We'll just start from scratch. But even when you start from scratch, it's going to put first name, last name, email, phone number. So let's say we've got this form right here, and we'll just rename this demo form. Call it demo forward 2, save. I'm just going to leave it exactly like it is. You guys can edit this. You can click on the spots here and like make them required or just click the X, get rid of them, whatever you want to do. But I'm just going to leave it like this just to show you guys what we're doing. So if you're doing a free community, you need to create a form like that where you're just collecting the information and you're letting them go into whatever you're going to give them access to for free, right? So now we've got this demo form too. If I go back to funnels here at the top, it brings me to like my website, my funnels. Here, scalable subscriptions. If I open that, the sales page, right, is what we're talking about. If I go into the editor right here, this sales page, this is just something we mocked up really fast. So if I click this join now button, it's usually going to open the pop-up is the way I set them up. And so then I go up here at the top, kind of this top left settings over here and click on pop-up settings. And you'll see here, I've got a payment form. So if I want to make this community free, I don't want to take their payment. So I just need to remove this form. So I'll just delete the payment form. And now under join now, I want to add that form that we just made so they can sign up for free. So I could just click the plus, scroll over here on the left to form, and then it will let you choose what form you want to put there. And I'll just choose the demo 2 form or demo form 2 that we just created. And so now it'll automatically drop that form right there. So this is the way you change it from a paid group to a free group, right? You just remove the payment form and you plug in a free form. Okay. And then we can change the text or whatever. Join for free now. So then basically we're saying like, as long as you opt in here, you're going to be joining the community for free. And then just save and publish. But this is kind of, we had this question. It's a good question. How do we go from charging for our community to a free on the sales page? You could use this to collect people's information. And so you mentioned like having multiple groups, and some people like to do this. It's just more for you to manage. So just think of it as more groups you have, the more you have to keep up with and the more you have to manage. So just like think of that as all when you guys are creating them. But if you want to let people opt in for free to a free community, then you can always upsell them to a paid community later, right? So that way you're collecting information like, hey, join our free community, and you do something like this. The sales page here, right? Like this page you'll use to describe your community so that they know they want to buy in, right? Build this website, this funnel page to where it's like just talks about your free community. And there's one button, join now. It opens up the pop-up. They can join for free. And then that free form, right? This form that we just created here, this would become the trigger for your automation. So you go build an automation to where when somebody comes to this website and enters first name, last name, email, phone, and clicks the button, yes, I want to join, then you want that to be the trigger of your automation to send them a welcome email, to send them a welcome text, to tag them. They join the free community. And then scalability, you can build all your own communities and everything inside of here now as well. So you can even launch your own scalability communities. Or if you have like a Facebook group or something outside, your automation, your welcome text and email would link people out to that group to join for free. And then in that free group, you talk about your paid group and you can upsell them to your paid group or one-on-one coaching or whatever that looks like to you. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's a great way to do it. I like that.
Does it help being able to see it?
Yes, a lot. I took some notes.
Okay. Well, we're live on YouTube and these are recorded just for this. So you can always go right back to the YouTube channel and watch it again, slow it down and pause it, check on things. But I would focus on those, take piece by piece, because if you're talking about creating multiple communities, you've got different automations to let people in or different links in different places, right? But like where you're wanting one platform, you can do your communities inside of scalability as well. We've traditionally used Facebook groups, but Facebook is starting to restrict being able to live stream into your groups and everything else. So it's kind of getting hard to work with. So if you're wanting to launch your own groups inside of scalability, like that's great. Just remember, anytime you guys have paid communities or free communities that are outside of a social media platform that people are used to using. So Facebook spends millions of dollars addicting you to the platform, right? Like we're used to, we don't have anything to do, so people open up Facebook and they click around. That's because Facebook's marketing and pushing you back to Facebook, retargeting, emails, texts, all sorts of stuff, right? People are seeing Facebook all the time. If you guys start your own communities outside of, say, Facebook, people aren't addicted to your platform and they're not seeing your community everywhere they look because you're not spending millions of dollars to promote it, right? So just remember, when you guys create your own communities, you'll need to remind your people regularly to get in there and be active. Like it's important because a lot of people will launch communities and they'll be like, it's not working. It is working, but you have to remind people. Like a mentor of mine says, a man's got to be told once, but he's got to be reminded many times. Like,
Yeah.
very true. Your communities, if they are outside of a social media platform that people are used to using, you're going to have to remind them very regularly to come back to it and check it out. So emails and text messages and things, will let people know to come back to your communities. But I would focus on building one thing at a time. Ralph, since we do these calls every Friday, it's like just go build your sales page and get a form in it where people can opt in. And then come back next week and be like, okay, here's what I got in place and here's what I learned. Now, what's the next step? Because then I can kind of help you from week to week and we can literally build this thing live, where give you some homework like that. And now you go out, you build that piece, come back next week. Because if you try to take it all on yourself, it's a lot. So just do the sales page. You don't even have to tell anybody it's there. That way you do it and it's ready. And then it's like, great, what's the automation need to look like and where's it run? Right? They'll simplify it too.
That helped me stay focused on what I'm trying to accomplish before I
Yeah.
move.
And
Because
the
I
next thing,
was,
go
oh,
ahead.
yeah, I was wanting to incorporate an interactive map. It's kind of like we'd have Florida, and
Yeah.
then because I can purchase one, it's like $17, but embed it into the website, and you click on whatever county, and that'd be
Mhm.
one of the communities, and create a landing page for that county. but that's
Oh, for
later.
each county. Yeah. If you're
Yeah,
going to do that
that
for each county, that'd be a lot of communities.
67.
Yep.
That's
You'd get really good at communities. So, so next year, Ralph will be doing a masterclass with scalability on how to build and optimize communities.
oh God, I believe it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get working on some IT administrators. I'm gonna need help.
Yep.
But thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. With the time management, that's always a big one. And honestly, that comes down to a knowing what you're doing and actually giving it importance. Um, a lot of people don't respect their own time, which is why they're distracted a lot, right? Like, for example, I know I've told this many times, but I tell it all the time anyway, because a lot of people struggle with this. Um, I never answer my phone ever. Even if my mom calls, I don't answer the phone. Even if I immediately call her back 2 minutes later, I don't answer the phone because I'm training myself that when somebody calls me, they're interrupting my day and interrupting my time. And now I am a slave to what they have just pushed on me. It might be important, it might not, right? Most of the stuff that comes in isn't that important. It could wait till later. Or it's important to somebody who waited until last minute and it's important to them, but it's not really important to you. But the problem is, like, if you don't respect your time enough to ignore when your mom calls, then you're going to allow everybody to call, right? And so it's so funny because so many people I'm around, they're like, "Oh, is that your phone?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Do you need to get that?" I'm like, "No."
No.
Not at all. I let it ring every once in a while just to reaffirm myself that I don't need to answer it when it rings. And it drives people nuts because when they hear the phone ring or they hear a ding of a text, they have to check it. And I don't. I have no problem just silencing it or already having it silenced. And it's a training thing though. Like I know, I personally feel that everything God's given me I have been commanded to multiply. And there's no way I can do that if I'm constantly answering everybody else's questions 24/7. I'll never have any time to work on my stuff. And if I'm distracted all the time, I'm not helping anybody, right? Because even when my daughters need something, if I just bend over and do everything for them all the time, they don't actually learn anything. So it's not good for my girls and it's not good for me because I'm distracted and interrupted all the time, right? So it's the same thing with the people in your life. We can create a way that people have to get a hold of you. Like I have a missed call text back, which means every time I miss a call because I never answer the phone, it automatically sends them a text message. And the text message says, "Hey, just letting you know, I'm in a meeting. I'll get back to you as quick as I can. It might be able to get back to you faster if you shoot me a text message." And so then they can shoot me a text message and I might respond quicker if I'm not in the middle of something. But ultimately, it's just you have to decide this is important. I believe that what I'm building will help lots of people. And if I help lots of people, then I have a bigger impact. And so the worst thing I can do is actually be chasing every single person around one at a time because it would keep me from the goal of helping so many people. I have to learn how to slow myself down and say, "Hey, if you have a question with that, that's a tech issue. Go straight to live chat. It's the fastest way for you to get the answer because it would waste everybody else's time right now." Right. And it's like, "Oh, hey, you need strategy help. That's not a tech question. Don't stay stuck in that. Come to Freedom Fridays because I don't have time to help everybody one-on-one, but I pour in on Fridays. So make sure you're there." It's training people around me so that people don't even try to interrupt me during the week. Because when I first got started, it was try to interrupt me 24/7. Every time we have a new customer, it's try to interrupt me all the time. We have to simply teach them, "Hey, this isn't excuse me, this isn't the best way to get a hold of me, right? Now that we've got this in place and this in place, Fridays is where you're going to get those answers because that's where I put aside time on my calendar to make sure that I help you win with that specifically thing." So you guys have to respect your own time, one, and then that will kind of help. Like if you really work around your idea of your time, um, it helps you say no to more things because super productive and efficient is literally just learning how to say no. That's it. Everybody waits till the last minute to do anything. And then if they need something from you to get their thing done, they'll wait till the last minute and then they'll call you and it'll be an emergency. Remember, their lack of planning does not constitute an emergency on your part, period. Like you can feel free being like, sorry, I can't help you with that today, but I have to have it done today. But you knew for 2 weeks that you had to have it done. That's not my problem, right? Like I can't drop what I'm doing. But see, it's not being rude if you understand the value of your time. If you're like, hey, tomorrow might be my last day on earth too, and I have things I have to get done. If I don't get these things done during the day today, I don't get done on time to go spend time with my daughters, and my daughters have a absent father who's chasing money instead of being a present father with them, right? Like I get to my girls' soccer games. I'm the fill-in coach when the coach doesn't show up. Like I'm that guy because I can, because I respect and value my time. I have no problem turning things off or saying no. But the biggest part people struggle with is you're just allowing too many distractions to come in. And so learning how to block those out, like turn your phone completely off and set a timer on your desk for an hour. And then you turn your phone back on in an hour and you can check the messages you missed. That way you have like a focused hour to work on stuff. And like that's huge because that'll help you with a lot of things. Is that helpful? I know Ralph was struggling with time. But this is I've been one-on-one coaching for over 5 years, and I have had this conversation more than any other conversation out there. So I have shared my calendar with people to show people what that looks like. And a lot of people are like, that's awesome. I'm trying it and it's not working. It always comes back around to they don't respect those time blocks, right? And what I mean is like, if you have from 12 to 1 set aside for this thing, then at 1 o'clock, you're done. 5 minutes till you're going, hey, we got 5 minutes left. Does anybody have anything before we wrap up and close out? Right? Freedom Fridays, it's kind of up in the air. I've went 20, 30 minutes. We've went 2.5, 3 hours. I block Fridays to help you guys win. If we had 30, 40, 50, 100 people show up on these calls, I'm going to make sure I get people taken care of. So there's a lot of times where my calendar, though, reflects Freedom Fridays is flexible. You're not going to get flex time from me most of the week, but on Fridays I do it because when you're in control of the time, these are hard stops. These are flexible ones, right? But that'll come down to your mindset around your own time more than anything, because most people feel rude telling somebody no. And it's like, I'm not telling you no, I'm telling my daughters yes. Like my men's group, I'll hang out with them. We got 300 guys that get together every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. And so from 7 to 8, we have this big group. And then from 8 to 9, we break out in these small groups. And at 9:30, there's been some guys like get together like, hey, man, you want to get breakfast? I'm like, nope. Why? I'm like, it's time to get home from my girls. They're like, oh, we're not important enough. I'm like, no, you're not. You're very important until 9:30. And then your time stops. And now it goes to my daughters. Like, joking around, but at the same time, I'm telling them like, hey, I'm serious and I don't screw around with it. And so it's funny, like just build it into who you are and the life that you're leading, and other people will actually learn from it. People appreciate it. I've had so many people be like, man, I respect that you show up on time and you end on time and you're not wasting people's time, and because a lot of people struggle with that. So well, it is 12. Let's keep rolling. Jill, how's all your stuff going? What can I help you with?
Can I just ask first what time this actually begins? Because I've tried showing up on the hour, and I thought that there was a free conversation for half an hour before the recording.
Yep,
I've sat there waiting and there's nothing there. So I've come back at past, and then I feel like I'm invading a meeting that's been going on somewhere else.
Oh, nope, you're all right. So we are starting Freedom Fridays at 11:30, which we've always been starting at 11:30, but we were going at 11:30, and it was kind of like we weren't live on YouTube or anywhere. It was just us from 11:30 to 12. And then at 12, we would go live. And what happens was we were going live sometimes. Right. And then we'd have like a really good conversation from 11:30 to 12. and we break it down. So I just decided I'm going to go live right at 11:30 on YouTube. And so we'll be live right at 11:30 on YouTube. That way it's literally up in the air and everything gets recorded for people to watch. Since Freedom Fridays, I feel like we've had a lot of value and we've helped people work through a lot of things, 11:30 to 12. And since these aren't structured in any way other than how can I serve you, it's really up in the air what gets presented to YouTube. And I want people to basically be able to feel what that's like to be a part of that community. So we're going to go live at 11:30. And so when you guys join now at 11:30 Central Time, you might have to wait a few minutes because basically I'm going to go live at 11:30 and I'll basically tell people welcome to Freedom Fridays. And then I'll just let you guys in like we did today. And then we'll jump straight into conversations. So we switched from Restream because we were streaming to the Facebook groups and then we got that didn't work. And so we went to Zoom meetings. And so there was probably a lag during that when we were switching back and forth.
Okay,
But now we're set and committed to 11:30 Central Time, going live on YouTube and live for us together. And we're just going to stream the whole thing. If people don't like it, they don't have to watch it. But that way because so many of you have been like, do we have the recording? Like, no, because we waited until noon to start it. So I want to make sure that you guys have like what I just talked about. If that was helpful for you guys, now it's live on YouTube. So it's there when we're done. You can go back through it. Whereas before it wouldn't have been, and we wouldn't have the recording anywhere. So I think it'll just help us kind of give you guys more of the recordings more often.
Oh, that's good. So, yeah, for those that don't know, I think it's Ralph I haven't met before. I'm a digital discipler and I'm a game script writer. And my focus for this year is to develop a community of parents and carers who are concerned about the exposure their children are having to the metaverse, internet, influences that are affecting their spiritual and character development, and want to pull back on that and get some support in knowing how to do that. So I built those stages in place with Aaron's help on scalability, and I had I've had no uptake as yet, because I think that still I am not doing as much of the talking about who I am, what I do, as I would like to achieve. Some of that is because I do put a lot of time into something that feels really flat and doesn't work. And sometimes I post it and sometimes I don't. And the lives haven't always been successful, but now I am able to stream into YouTube, which is unlisted, and then upload those into Facebook. And I am beginning to get a little bit of an archive going there. I do have a bit of a problem in that I was using consistently the media library for social media posting through scalability. And I've got 3 channels, and obviously now we've lost Facebook. Is there any way you suggest, Aaron, other than literally physically copy paste and re-upload a picture on Facebook? Is there any other way around getting on Facebook? Obviously not using scalability.
Is that automating it to where it posts it, you mean?
Sorry?
Automating the posts, you mean?
Yeah, or would you suggest anywhere else I might take it rather than just only doing it in 2 different places?
Yeah, so it's naturally, I always come back to like, where's your ideal client hanging out, right? But if they're on Facebook, then it just simply comes around to like what Facebook allows. So yeah, we lost the API because Facebook restricted that to where you couldn't like third party. I'm not familiar with all the software out there. So I know like it cut off to where you can't schedule or you can't go live third party and post into Facebook, right? So we're manually doing it. I don't know if there's any other software out there that is some way around it that is still doing it. But ultimately anything we're doing on Facebook, we're just manually posting. So we just have it on the schedule, and on that certain day, we just go and we post it. Because we'll still create our social media posts in a big block. So I've talked about content batching. We'll
Mm.
content batch. Like we set up, we went somewhere the other day and took probably 50 pictures and took like, I don't know, 5 or 6 videos. And then we take those and we chop them up for things to where we can use them over time. And so we'll put them onto a content calendar, like post this picture and this text on this date. And then we'll have to just manually post it. So we'll schedule our stuff to go to YouTube to where it automatically posts.
Yeah.
But then manually on Facebook, we'll just jump in there and do it that way.
Right. So that's just another add-on piece that I need to consistently do. But I have only 3 posts a week going out on my media, but they are going out every single week and they're always on a theme. So
Are
I
your
am.
people primarily on Facebook, or is there another channel or place where you think the parents would be hanging out?
It's a good question. Most of my followers, well, most of those posts that are read are by my age group on Facebook. So,
Okay.
but
And I remember you had found a lady that was doing it, right? That
yeah,
had been at it for a while and everything else. Something to think about too, if you haven't already, see how you can find other people that are like in her circle as well.
yeah, she's not added me in yet. That's a bit frustrating. I wanted to join that group.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe she doesn't monitor it very often.
yeah, that
That can
could
be
be the
part of it
case.
too.
Yeah,
That
so
can be
I'm
part
still
of it too.
waiting.
Yeah. So like look at even on their profiles. So when you guys find somebody who's doing kind of the same stuff as you're doing, it's good to like look at all their stuff and just see what they're doing, how you can model it. If somebody is successful in what you're doing. And so
Hmm.
like I know with her particularly, because this will work for everybody. It works for all of us. That's what we do essentially, right? We go, hey, I want to do this. What do? We jump on YouTube, we search for how to do it, people that are doing it, everything else. And then you see how they're doing it and you go, oh, I could learn something from that. And then you create your own thing.
Mm.
So when you guys have somebody, if you have your community, like Jill has a community set up, she's got the group set up, sales page set up, all that stuff set up. Now she just has to be loud about it, which means get it out to where people can see it. And there's multiple ways you can do that. One is like creating a bunch of posts and posting regularly all the time and building your own brand and your own following, right? Or a second way is going to people that already have the following. So let's say this other lady who's doing like what she's doing, she could go to that person and say, hey, we're getting started doing a lot of the same things that you're doing. Is there a way that we could collaborate, work together, this or that?
Yeah.
Reaching out to people that have those audiences. Maybe they don't even do the exact same thing you do. So like Jill is trying to help the parents who have kids who are like gamers, metaverse, Discord, they're online and they're doing things, and the parents don't fully understand it all. And
Yeah.
she's got a community for the parents where she can teach them how to navigate that digital space. And so, who would have even a game community with a bunch of kids, right? Where if that was their primary, you could still partner up with the person who has the community to add a resource for the parents inside of there. So I would think of even like gaming communities, not necessarily coaching communities, but
Yeah.
places where kids would even gather
Yeah.
because their parents are going to have some interaction. If their parents are actually worried about them, right, they're going to
Yeah.
they're going to know a little bit about those and they would have some interaction. So that might be a way that you could find some audience as well.
Yeah.
Is start searching. And so for some of you like not sure what that means or how to do it, you can jump on Facebook, for instance, just to use Facebook as an example. You can jump on Facebook and search groups. You can just search gaming and it will bring up gaming groups like crazy. And then you can go and join the groups or reach out through Messenger to the people that own the groups. You can just shoot them a message, say, hey, this is my name. This is what I do. I found your group. I would love to try and add value to the parents in your group. This is what I do,
Yeah. I didn't think
And
about doing that indirectly.
yeah.
I guess I thought that was such a private place for kids to go that their parents may not be there, but
They might not be.
Yeah, but they should be, obviously.
Well, that's just it. They might not be. But there's going to be some of those kids too. Like if you got access into, let's say the owner of one of those groups that had a bunch of kids gaming in it and was an older person or was an adult that created the group or something, right?
Yeah.
And you'd say, hey, how could we add value to your group? Like you might be able to teach something in the group or do a live and talk about teaching the kids ways to be safe online. You know, the person with the group might be interested in that too. Well, some of those kids would go and tell their parents if they knew that you were there to help the parents. You say,
Yes.
hey, I wanted to give you guys a few tips while you're gaming online that might actually help you do XYZ online. But ultimately, too, if you guys have parents that are like interested in this stuff but don't really understand it, I can help teach your parents to where they understand you a little bit better. If you guys make an intro to your parents, like feel free to give them my link to Facebook. Like you can talk to the kids and still be like, hey, I want to help your parents understand you guys better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And see if you get the kids to make intros.
That's
So like
good.
if you're having problems getting the word out, so like yours, Jill, and this is for everybody, once you have the pieces in place, don't go circling around trying to learn something new and redo your pieces. So
No.
like people like to go back and redo their website. It's a waste of time. Don't redo your website. You need to get people to it. So like leave the website alone. It's set up and ready for people to sign up. You have your group set up and ready, right? You do weekly calls. You have all of that stuff set up and ready. You just need people to the community. So literally leave the funnel alone, leave the process alone, leave the community alone, and think about things like this, right? Who has my people or a secondary my people? And how can I work into those communities and send direct messages, join those groups, send messages to them? This works in every industry out there, period.
Yeah.
Companies literally hire VAs to just send direct messages to people all day long.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't have an idea, there's people sending like 100 to 400 messages a day is what they're sending. So if you're not growing fast enough, your volume may just not be high enough.
Isn't high enough.
You know, which usually is what we come down to when we realize what other people are doing. I heard Alex Hormozy doing a video clip. Alex Hormozy, last I heard, it was over $10 million a month that he does in his businesses. The guy knows what he's talking about. And he said he was talking to some guy about social media, and the guy was like talking about they do 100 posts or 100 pieces of content a month. And he was asking Alex Hormozy, he's like, why are you growing so much faster than I am? We do 100 content pieces a month. And Alex Hormozy goes, we do 350 pieces of content a week. He goes, so I'm naturally going to grow faster just because of the volume of what we put out, which is true, right? And I remember when I started with real estate, I would talk to new investors and they would get frustrated, burned out. This isn't working. I'm making offers. It's not working. And I would talk to them and they've made like 6 to 10 offers. Well, then I would simply say, well, just so you know, you're going to be around 35 to 40 offers before you get one under contract. And they're like, oh, like where they were burned out and tired and frustrated because it wasn't working. Now they're under the understanding of, oh, I just need to make some more offers then. Like if we understand the numbers, a lot of times it's just a volume thing. It takes a lot of volume to get the word out. So don't like circle back around to learning loops and trying to figure out how to fix or make your stuff better. A lot of times it's just volume of getting your message out. And that's just going to come with like time of doing it. So focus, how do I put out more content or how do I put out more messages to people who have audiences? That'll actually be faster for most of you is other people with audiences and reaching out to them. So is this helpful?
Yeah. I think you've made me realize. Oh,
Ignore
I
that.
think I think you've made me realize that I need to write the copy for my approach and reuse it and automate that more than I have been doing, rather than, oh, I'll dip into LinkedIn today, or I'll do a little bit of searching around Facebook another day. Maybe I go collect all my names and my contact details, and then I'll do the mass mail.
And consistency. So
Yeah.
even if you send out a message to somebody, one time is not enough.
No.
And
Right.
send out a message on Facebook Messenger. If they have a website, go to the website. If they have a support or a email address listed on the website, email the website or email the email address from the website as well.
Yeah.
Like even if it's the same message, send it on Messenger, send it on that, whatever, but create your contact list and don't message them once. You have to message them over and over and over because people with an audience, I was literally talking to somebody yesterday. I was like, I got to the point where I had 750 Facebook notifications one morning.
Wow.
When you get to a level where you've got enough volume coming in, you start to realize why people don't respond.
Yes.
In the beginning, you're like, I sent out 10 messages, nobody responded. They're probably not interested. They probably don't like me. And I'm like, maybe they just got 1,000 messages that day and they haven't seen it. But if you've never experienced that, it doesn't make sense, right? The idea that somebody would get 1,000 messages in a day is like, what? Because 20 messages in a day to you is a lot.
Yeah.
So when they get them though, I mean, literally, I don't even check the notifications on social media anymore because there's just no way to keep up with them. And a lot of that comes with email and stuff as well. So it's a volume thing. You have to message people and email the same people over and over and over and over and over. So throw them onto a list and start following up with people.
Yeah.
And just assume they haven't seen it. Not that they don't like you. Everybody likes to assume they don't like you. It's like, no. They don't even know who you are. They just haven't seen it. Or they saw it and they got busy and distracted. They need a reminder. If they don't like you, they'll simply say, leave me alone. And then you'll actually know.
Thank you.
Welcome. MJ, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good. So I guess that's really what I'm working on right now is just trying to get myself on like Facebook more. Not necessarily live videos, but just purposing to just put a little something out every day, just to get my connection going because I'm I work so hard to make myself be a recluse that now I have to work hard to bring myself out of that. And because I know that's what God wants. And so I'm just taking it little bits at a time. I posted out on Facebook that my next book is halfway done in publishing, and that I also have an interview on a radio station and gave them the link. So I was just trying to connect that way, and that also went on to a podcast, so it's available anytime anybody wants to check it out if they couldn't hear it on the certain days that it was out. I guess you could say launched out or whatever. But it's just putting me in that realm of being around other people. And I have to be honest with myself. And I don't think I've been honest with myself, and trying to do things and hide behind a bush, basically, and just coming out of that and just, I want to share my heart, which is God's heart, I feel, and I pulled back because I just had to reevaluate what is it that I'm doing? What am I after? And I just felt like I was shooting without a target, I guess you could say. And I think I'm coming around to really starting to see that a little bit more clearly, what it is that I'm, and it has to do with my children's book, my children's books that are, I'm going to have a series, and but there's also going to be interaction with that, and I'm still working on that part.
Yours would be good too, to reach out for other people's audiences. Because if creating content, which a lot of times it is for most people, creating content and posting it regularly is overwhelming for most people. Like, I don't have time for this. And it doesn't matter whether it's easy or hard. It matters whether it's easy or hard to you. So like the biggest thing that I've realized through like 5 years of working with people is that I can say this is easy and it can actually be easy. But if you have a mental problem with it, it will never be easy to you.
Yeah, I
And
think that's what I'm recognizing for
yeah,
sure.
and a lot of people try to fight against the natural tendency. Like, well, this should be easy. Everybody else is doing it. Why can't I do it? What's wrong with me? And we
Yeah.
fight. I'm just going to be more determined. I'm going to be more disciplined. I'm just going to do it this time. It doesn't work because you still have the problem of like, I hate this. I don't want to do this. Right. And a lot of people are that way with social media content. They're like, I hate social media. I just don't want to be a part of it, but I need to because this is how you do business. It's like, you know what? There's thousands and thousands of people making millions of dollars that have no social media whatsoever.
Mhm.
But it does mean you have to find something you can do that you're okay with doing and that you're willing to do over and over and over. So if creating a bunch of content, posting it regularly to you is like, man, I hate this, and you're just trying to make yourself do it, it's never going to work. And unless you can somehow fix the internal idea around it that you hate so much, which most people never do that work. And so they never fix the problem. So you could either fight to fix the internal story and then fight to keep doing what you hate. Or you can simply say, you know what? If I didn't do that at all, what else could I do? Oh, I could send out 100 direct messages every single day. I could, instead of creating content and posting it everywhere, I could just reach out to people that have audiences of kids. I could find moms groups and just reach out to them and say, hey, I've got a book. Would you be willing to do an interview and I'll give you some free copies for your group? And then I'll give you 50% of anything we sell from your group. And you reach out to people that way, right? That have
Yeah.
audiences, and you just go to their group and you just talk and they do an interview
I
about your
think
new book.
I have like um, a dinner table full of stuff, of ideas. And so, I've just taken advantage of the love for, like I go on Canva, I'll take a scripture that I feel like God has put on my heart, and I'll take that scripture and put it to picture, and I'll just post it on stories. And it's very basic. It's very, for some people it's might be like, oh, I don't see how you can do that, but it's it ministers to me. Like I find peace in doing it, and I also feel like I'm doing the same. I'm reflecting that out to people that are gonna jump on that. It's just a story, so it's only gonna be up there for 24 hours, and then it's gone. So now I've gotten myself to purpose to do that every single day, and so I want to try to add to it by putting things out on actual Facebook, that have to do with what you were saying. You talk about your family, you talk about your love for God, and then you could talk about maybe your business. So I'm kind of doing. I feel like that's what I'm doing, and because my business is not just my book, but I'll put things out with that. But I'm trying to create relationships with people when I'm posting it, like what you were saying. That's what you're doing. You're trying to create a trust with people so that when that time comes, and it will come. They're gonna want to be on board.
So when I'm talking about this stuff too, just so everybody's like on the same page, I'm specifically talking about your marketing. Okay, like getting people to know about your book, right? Or your community or your thing. Because posting every day is great, but not if it never says anything about your book.
Right.
And so I want to make sure too, just to point you back to this and make sure we're doing it. There's intentionality around content, or there should be. Or honestly, don't waste your time with it unless it's just something that you like to do, right? Like you said, doing these Bible verses, doing the Canva image, posting them up, it ministers to you and you like it, right? And that's good. That's one reason to post content. If it brings joy to you, then do it. The problem will be, okay, is don't cross the paths. So don't expect that content. Like, don't tell yourself internally that you're marketing for your book, because then you're building this idea that marketing doesn't work, because you're posting like a inspirational Bible verse that does bring joy to people and to yourself, but nobody's buying your book from it. And so if you tell yourself, this is my marketing, you're going to be like, marketing doesn't work. And then we start to shape these ideas that marketing doesn't work. I shouldn't waste my time. Content doesn't work. And the frustration comes in. And it's just the lies of the devil trying to like throw you off. Because the fact is, you're not marketing. You're doing something you enjoy to inspire people. That's good. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But just know the two places, right? Like, this is marketing content. And if it's not converting to people looking and buying or telling their friends, then it's not good marketing content, and you make it better because the intention is marketing.
Well, I
this
guess
is inspirational that feels good to me and others.
Yeah.
And so it's doing what it's supposed to. It's good, right?
One of the kind of like the twofold that I was looking at it is that, I could be silent on Facebook, like, and then all of a sudden I'm popping up and saying, hey, buy my book. So I don't feel comfortable with that. So I felt like, for one, like I said, I enjoy doing this Canva thing. So I thought, well, to get myself, and I'm not doing it for the marketing thing. I'm just doing it to get myself to be out there, and just be real and be that friend, not for any other purpose, but to just get myself out there, because I'm just not. I have convinced myself that I don't need to be involved with anybody, and I realized that, and so now it's like, no, that's not the kingdom. That's not the kingdom mentality.
No.
And so I'm breaking free from that. And so, I mean, I purpose to promote my book, not because, not out of that. That's almost like a side thing. Like I said, it's on the story thing, and people can get up there and check it out or whatever. But then I go onto my Facebook, and then I'll, like I posted about my book. I put out there about, somebody put a review on Amazon for me, and I just wanted to recognize them and just like thank everybody else that has put a review. And then I encouraged everybody to, whoever hasn't purchased my book, go here, purchase my book, get some free coloring pages so that I can connect with you. And so I was just like slowly bringing it back into the.
So the one thing you need to spend time on, which is a bunch of people, so I'm not just giving you a hard time, bunch of people need to spend time on, is this idea that selling's bad. Because if you have a hard time selling, you think there's something dirty about selling. But King Solomon is the wisest dude on earth, and everybody paid him for it. Like, it's all over the Bible. You pay for things. There's nothing wrong with it. Business is a godly thing. It's all over the Bible, and the way we interact with people and everything else. There's nothing dirty about it. Nobody can buy anything from you unless they know you're selling it. And for those of you who have a book, well, if you feel like God gave you a book and it's to help people, are you just going to write it and then sit on it for just you? Because you're not doing what God told you to then. You're writing a book for other people. If you're going to write it and give it away, well, then just decide you're going to write it and give it away so you don't feel dirty selling it. But if it's a book for sale, then you're not doing what God wants you to do with it if you write it and then you're afraid to sell it. Like, it's a book for sale. Sell it. It's up to them whether they want to buy it or not.
Right.
But if they can't, it's your mindset around it. And it's your mindset around all of these things. My wife and I, we traveled a lot of different countries, right? And it was so funny because in Thailand, every time you go into a store, it's like they follow you around. And they're like, can I help you? You need help with anything? Can I help you? Check this out. Check this out. They'd see you looking at something, they'd go grab something else. Look at this with that. And my wife would always be like, excuse me. My wife was like, I wish they'd just stop following us around. I'm like, why? It's like a personal concierge. If I want something, they're there. They'll get me whatever I want whenever I want it. I was like, I don't have to go looking for help. They're here to help as soon as I need it. She looked at it. She was like, it's annoying. They follow me around. I'm like, they're hand and foot. Like, it's like having a personal servant. It's amazing. It's, it's, you can choose to see anything this way, right? And most of us feel so dirty about selling something. We never even tell anybody we have it. But the fact is, if you told a bunch of people you have it over and over and over, not once, remember, because people forget, it's not their book. They didn't write it. If you don't remind them that you have it, they're never going to see it. Different people see reels and stories than see your personal Facebook.
Yeah.
So like the same posting cadence, for those of you who don't know, she said posting 3 different categories on her timeline or on her Facebook. I call it a posting cadence. Pick your 3 things you're passionate about. So with me, you'll see things with like Mighty Men, which is like ministry and God stuff. You'll see me and my family, and you'll see my business, websites we built, testimonials, things like that. And I just rotate through those 3 styles of posts, those 3 topics. So she's talking about doing that on her Facebook profile. Also do that in your stories. So that way, like, because those are only up for 24 hours, like you said, they're all gone. And so all of the work you do for those is literally you're saying, I'm going to do work to build, but none of it will compound because it's going to disappear in 24 hours. Like a YouTube channel compounds, right? Because you put a video up 5 years later, people are still watching that video and finding it. So we want to try and like, even if you're going to do just stories, there's different people that Facebook's algorithm will show your stories to than will see your Facebook profile. So
Yeah,
like
I think it
rotate
was,
through those categories on your
yeah,
on your
I just
stories as
looked at
well.
it like, the more action I put in there, the more,
Yeah, absolutely.
and I did, like I had this really cool, because Canva, I can put like a little story,
Yep.
like pages from my storybook, and create like a little video, and then I can put some music to it so it captures, and so this is
Yep.
and I threw that up on story, and I would like to do those things even on YouTube if that's possible. Like I would like to branch out
Make them
and
shorts.
yeah, so yeah,
At least
I
on
just feel like
YouTube,
the
they'll
more I'm doing
actually,
it, the more it's stirring in my
yeah.
head, like the creativity.
And on YouTube, they'll compound because they'll stay there forever if you do YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
So it's the same idea, but it's a different place. So I would encourage you though, try to like when you're working your 3 categories and you're trying to get people like to know who you are, the know, like, and trust factor is to sell somebody something. It's not
Yeah.
just to make friends. So like, remember that too. We're letting you see my family, my ministry, and what I do with my work so that you know me, you like me, you trust me enough to buy my stuff.
Yeah.
Not so that we can hang out on the weekends, because I don't have time to hang out with 10,000 people on the weekends, right? There's no way it's ever going to happen. And my family knows what's going on with me because they get text messages. So like social media is for doing business with or getting my message out. It doesn't mean I don't care about the people. It's like I know what we do is valuable and good. We're good at it. And we got good service, good software. We do awesome design. Like everything we do is awesome. It would be weird not to tell people what I do that's done well, that can help them do what they want to do well, right? Because most people will struggle to build the stuff themselves. Well, we can knock it out in a couple of weeks and it'll look awesome. If I don't tell you about it, though, you're like, oh, he's a really cool guy. There's his family and his ministry. That's so neat. I wonder what he does for a living.
Yeah.
It's like the
Yeah.
idea is to like get them to where they go, oh, I know, like, and trust him. 6 months later, I need a website. Aaron does websites. I've seen him post about it like 100 times. And then they'll reach out. I'm still not selling. I'm just saying this is what I do.
Yeah.
So like make sure you're putting it in there what you do. And even on your other posts, MJ, I'd put a link to get your book. Even if you don't say anything, just put a link on the bottom.
Yeah.
Let people poke around and see it. It's moms that are going to buy your book for their kids. So they might like your motivation, your inspirational quotes and scriptures. Put a link at the bottom for your children's book. They'll click on it to see what it is. And some of them will buy, some of them will tell other people. But that way, everything is pointing people back to the book without being salesy.
Yeah. Okay.
So I encourage you guys, anything and everything you make, like think of it as a call to action and in your mind, get things clear. This is my marketing. This isn't, so that you don't build false beliefs around my marketing doesn't work. Cause I've done it too.
Yeah.
I've done it too. I still struggle with paid ads and things because I built a lot of false beliefs in the first few years of doing all this, where I spent thousands and thousands, well over 10,000s on marketing, and it didn't work. But the facts are my offer sucked. It's not the ads didn't work. My stuff sucked at that time. Now my stuff's really good, but now I have negative beliefs around marketing that keeps me from wanting to do it. Because back then, my product sucked and the marketing was good, but the marketing can't sell something that's not good, right? Not in a good way. And so I built those false beliefs because I was like, well, this is all marketing, or this is all like my product's good, or I thought I had something good. And then you create these negative thoughts. And then it's like, now I need to actually do something and sell something good, but I have these negativities around it. So make sure you're not giving yourself the wrong beliefs around, like, I post quotes and that's marketing. It's not. It's just content, and it'll get lost like that in the world of social media. So like marketing is something you're speaking to your ideal client, somebody who would be interested in buying your thing. You're speaking to them in a way that they'll know, like, and trust and understand. And then you're offering them, even if it's a passive link at the bottom, you're offering them a way to get the thing. Like, that's marketing. And then doing it consistently, running people to the same people over and over, pointing them back to the same places over and over and over, testing different stuff to see what people respond to and what they don't. Like, that's marketing. Just making content isn't. So like, just make sure you have it clear in your mind as to what you're doing with it, because there's nothing wrong with just making content. As long as we understand, I'm just making content because I enjoy it. It's like, great, then it's doing what it's supposed to. The only problem comes when we blur the line and we go, I'm making content because I like to. And then 3 months later, you're like, this is stupid. We haven't sold anything. Like, well, you're not marketing. You said you were making content because you enjoyed it. Both are okay. It's only when we blur the line,
Gotcha.
mentally. So I like it. Like, just stay consistent with it. Just take what you already like doing and start doing them as YouTube shorts, just so they can at least start staying there and compounding.
Right.
And then you can grow with them.
Yeah.
That'd be a good way. And then I would just reach out to more people about your book that have kids audiences and see if you can get on their channels.
Yeah. I mean, I basically, like what you had said to Jill, I joined a whole slew of Facebook pages, group pages, that had to do with authors and, so you can promote your book and stuff. So, yeah, I feel like that was the right way to do it. Like I joined quite a few different group pages or whatever, so that when I finally broke free from I don't want to put myself out there. When I finally got myself out there and shared about it, and I did the other thing too. I put my Facebook page as public. That was another big thing for me to do, and I just did the whatever.
Yep.
I'm just gonna do it.
Yep.
So I went ahead and did it, but then I went further and I just put that same information on one of the group pages. I mean, I figure if it's public, it's going out to everybody anyways, but I thought I'll just put it over on this group page and try to promote it that way. And, then maybe next time I'll do it on a couple more of the other ones that I have.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
just my way out.
Yep. Slow and steady, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you're comfortable and consistent with.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's wrap up for this week. I think that was good. We had a lot of conversation around like getting it out there, a few practical things. This is what Freedom Fridays is always about. It's more like the strategy, where we get hung up, getting our mindsets right to where we can win with the software. Strategy or software is software. And as long as you commit to like using the software, it will work for you. But usually just streamlining it, use this piece like we talked about with Ralph, just do this week. And then what's the next thing? That will help you win with the software quicker because we just simplify it down. What's the one thing we're working on and then working forward. So thank you guys for your time. Have an awesome weekend.
That was great. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. I enjoyed it. Learned
All right.
too.
You're very welcome. Have an awesome weekend. We'll see you.